Alright, so today we are touring the Bog Walk Gorge. We are setting up to go into the gorge to see what's the latest that's happening. Recently the gorge was blocked for a few days because of a big boulder following the passage of Tropical Storm Rafael a few weeks ago. We are heading into the Bog Walk Gorge and today the weather is good. We're heading to Spanish Town to check out what's new. We're just going beside the river heading south and the river is actually getting cleaner. Usually after a storm there's a lot of mud and debris. The river changes color for days and you have to wonder when it's going to clear up. We are right beside the entrance to the tunnel. If you look to the right, there seems to be a platform by the side of the hill there. That's actually the railway line, and the tunnel is right there going to Spanish Town through that mountain. It's the longest tunnel in Jamaica for the railway and it's 3/4 of a mile long. I toured that tunnel some time ago and recently posted a video about it, so you can check out that video in the description. In front of us is Kent Village, and of course we're back to the potholes. The gorge is also a nightmare when it comes to potholes, trust me. In under a minute we're coming up to Kent Village, a nice laid back village in the middle of the gorge. It's also the home to one of Jamaica's great icons, Eric Donaldson, who had the song "Oh Cheerio, baby." Of course he has other hit songs, but yeah, he's the man. This is now Kent Village we are heading into and passing through. The traffic is not so busy at this time of day, Friday, almost midday. Usually there are long lines if there's a big truck or some road work going on, which there's always something happening, but it's a nice laid back village. Now we're exiting the village and of course there are a few spots on the road you have to look out for. Nowadays this road is notorious for potholes that can take you by surprise, so you have to be on your P's and Q's. That's the old hydro station we just passed, and this is the second floodgate they have installed coming from Bog Walk. One is at Bog Walk, that's the second one in the gorge. Like I mentioned earlier, there are lots of surprise potholes. They seem to be totally unable to get rid of these roads because of course the road work is shabby. Recently they fixed this area and I don't know why they chose to cut down the trees that were here. There were lots of beautiful trees that kept the road cool and nice, and for some reason they removed them. It's ridiculous. Here's the spot that tore down recently. This spot has been reduced to one lane, but it looks pretty intimidating. You just have to be careful when passing and of course be cautious. And if we're going to talk about landslides, this part right here is where the biggest landslide in the history of the gorge happened in the early 90s. The entire hillside came crashing down into the river and probably one of Jamaica's worst floods. That flood also removed the big dam out by Dam Head. The entire dam was washed away and it took about 5 years before they built the new one. That's out there now. spot here also had a massive rock slide about maybe 2 years ago. Monster rocks came into the road here and the gorge was blocked for quite a few days. Generally along the entire gorge, especially after the rain starts, in the rainy period, falling rocks are a big deal. Luckily the rocks don't seem to fall on you unless it's during heavy rains, but occasionally there are random rocks dropping, so it's not a guarantee. You just have to have trust and have faith and just drive carefully. Okay, so now we are approaching Pim Rock, popularly known as Pum Pum Rock. This spot is probably one of the most popular spots here in the gorge, outside of Kent Village. There is a natural structure here that draws the attention of a lot of people passing. People come to take pictures and marvel at the natural wonder that Mother Nature has created right here. We are now approaching Rabies Corner, or Ribis Corner as the locals call it. It's a corner that seems to never end. You just keep going around and around. When I was younger, I used to be fascinated by this road, especially this part, because people would say this is the longest corner in Jamaica. But then it definitely seems so. Alright, so now that's the infamous flat bridge ahead of us. The bridge that generates the most news, headaches and sorrows in Jamaica, and at the same time one of the structures on the island that is totally unmovable. I don't think there are any natural occurrence that could move this bridge in any way, shape or form or break it. Whatever they used to make it just works, and of course there are so many potholes to navigate. You have to be driving carefully, looking out for traffic, keeping yourself safe and dodging potholes. This is a great flat bridge, the infamous flat bridge, the unmovable monster, the place in Jamaica that generates a lot of news year after year. Some of the worst disasters in Jamaica have happened here. A lot of it is because of indiscipline and unskilled drivers, if you ask me. Back in the years when there were no traffic lights, there would be another level of chaos on the bridge from drivers who were unwilling to be courteous, who were definitely indisciplined. And they would block each other on the bridge and cause everlasting traffic delays and just chaos. Yeah, one of the biggest monuments in Jamaica that has been here since the 17th century is still here. Heading to Spanish Town, and this part of the river here will stop flowing because it's dammed further down. Once you come around Raby's Corner and go over Flatbridge, you will notice that the river literally comes to a halt in terms of how it flows. That's because there's a dam ahead of us. Along this road there are numerous accidents and issues with drivers and vehicles. There is a bad corner coming up where many trucks will collide. Vehicles often touch around this corner, causing all kinds of problems. I think this road could be widened easily, especially in certain parts. Here we're passing a small community called Aki Walk. It's a section of the gorge where vendors are always out with the national fruits, Aki. They always have it when other places in Jamaica have none. So it's called Aki Walk. We're getting closer to Dam Head. We're going to pass under the North-South Highway toll road in a second, which is right here. Now we're on the back end of Dam Head, the district named after the area. In another minute or so we should be at Cow Market. I tell you, the roads are a mess, especially these parts, as there is always water gushing out of the district onto the roads. They fix the road and the rains come and just damage it again. Now this is the damaged district with the third floodgate. If you look to your left, there's the dam, the Ryacobra Dam. There are actually two dams. One for the old hydroelectric power station at the front of the gorge, and this major dam at the end of the gorge that supplies the St. Catherine farming irrigation community mostly, and water systems for various uses via canals in the Spanish Town area. There are some notorious spots on the road that breed potholes like it's a science. It's no mystery when the roads aren't fixed properly and the potholes reoccur and just wreak havoc. It just speaks to the state of the kind of expertise we have managing and fixing roads here in Jamaica. Jaja. So after Dam Head, we are coming to Cow Market. A lot of people don't know that this area is called Cow Market. That's the name. Right after Cow Market is the Angels community. So there you have it, a tour of the Bog Walk Gorge after Tropical Storm Rafael. It's open, it's drivable, and it's riddled with potholes. It's a headache to drive on, so just be careful. Stay tuned for more people. And thanks for watching.